Most Shopify merchants are sitting on data that could help them improve their product pages, and they're completely ignoring it. We're talking about return data. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use your return data to figure out why customers are sending products back, what to change on your product pages, and how to test whether those changes actually work. Hello everyone, my name is Ryan. I've been working with Shopify stores since 2014. I've had my own e-commerce businesses, and I've worked with hundreds of Shopify merchants, from stores just getting started to some of the top brands on Shopify. Before you make any changes on the product page, you need to understand the return problem. The goal here is that you need to first understand how bad the problem actually is. Why are some of these products getting returned in the first place? And where are these returns concentrated? There are 5 things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to understanding your return problem. Number 1, use enough data. If you are running an e-commerce business and your return policy is 30 days, it makes no sense to look at 30 days worth of data. You have to have a bigger data set. So if you have a 30-day return policy, you should probably look at least a 90-day return policy so that you can establish a baseline. Number 2, measure product level return rates. When it comes to returns, you want to make sure that you're looking at individual products. Number 3, compare against your industry. Return rates vary based on your product category. It only becomes meaningful when you understand what's normal for your industry. If you're selling apparel, for example, you're probably going to have a higher return rate than, say, if you're selling coloring books. Number 4, identify the top return reasons. You want to find the return reasons responsible for the most returns. You want to look for repeated patterns. Number 5, drill down into variants. If your product has multiple variants, you want to make sure that you're looking at the return rate and the return reasons for each individual variant. Your product returns may be concentrated in one size, color, material, or configuration. Map return reasons to the source. Not every return can be fixed on the product page. Sometimes there are operational problems that need to be addressed. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're using the return reasons to identify where to investigate first. If you're getting a lot of returns for a product that says wrong item or that it's defective, these are clearly not problems that you can solve by fixing the product page. If customers are getting the wrong item repeatedly, this is a fulfillment issue. If it's not an operational or a product problem, we can almost always address it on the product page itself. For example, if customers are getting an item and they're saying that it's too small or too large, there's an issue with sizing and expectation setting. Maybe you're selling garments from China that fit small, and they're not US size, they're China size. You need to figure out a way to indicate on the product page that they run small and for the user to size up. The next is color and style mismatch. Now, whenever there's a color and style mismatch, it's almost always an indicator that the problem is with the product images. Maybe the product images that you have look really good, but they have too much contrast to where they pop online. But when the customer actually receives the product, it's not as vibrant in real life as it is on the computer. The next is not as described. When you're getting a lot of returns that are not as described, it almost always points to the product description. The product description isn't communicating what the customer actually needs to know when buying this product. The next return reason is unwanted or changed my mind. This is a signal that there's no product clarity and that expectations have not been properly set. That can mean a lot of things. The important thing here is that you don't want to randomly just make changes to your product page. You need to go in and you need to understand why customers are returning a specific product before you take any action. So the process here is super simple. You want to figure out what the return reason is. Then you want to identify the source of the return reason. And then you got to investigate the problem. Now, to work through this process, we're going to use PinkyBrain. PinkyBrain is an AI Shopify app that I developed that helps merchants analyze and improve their product pages. The first thing that we're going to do is we are going to pick a product. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this product. And we're going to choose all time because all time has a decent amount of data. So as you can see, 455 units purchased, total units returned 293, and the total revenue lost to refunds is $6,200. So it's pretty substantial. So let's go ahead and we're going to run an analysis for all time. The one thing I want to point out here is that you can see the return rate. So right here, PinkyBrain will show you the return rate for this specific product. And as you can see, a 64.4% return rate is extremely high. Because PinkyBrain is AI, it automatically knows your industry and your benchmarks. For this particular store, it's saying that the return rate for sporting goods and outdoor is 8%. The return rate is exceptionally high compared to the benchmark. Now, the product analysis gives you a high-level overview of how this product is performing in general. We can look at the chart here and see exactly what the return reasons are. The top return reason is unwanted, and the second return reason is not as described. The Burton All-in-One Snowboard Package has seen a significant level of demand with 455 units purchased. Here in the behavioral insights it's calling out, it's saying the return rate suggests that while initial interest is strong, there are significant issues post-purchase that lead to returns. It says this behavior points to expectation gaps rather than a lack of demand. The next thing that we can do here is we can drill down on the variants. We can see what specific variants have the biggest return problems. So we'll go ahead and we'll run an analysis on the electric variants. Despite its success in sales, the return rate is 68.14%. It says the high return rate is driven by a variety of factors, including style and color mismatches, sizing issues, and quality concerns, which suggest a misalignment with customer expectations. We can actually see a breakdown of the return reasons for this specific variance. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to run an audit on the product page itself, because we're going to see if the product page experience is contributing to these return reasons. However, the unusually high return rate suggests significant expectation gaps, likely due to insufficient sizing and fit guidance. And it says right here, address the high return rate by improving sizing and fit guidance and ensuring clear shipping and returns information is visible near the buy box. For this particular product page, we don't actually have a sizing and fit guidance, and we do not have clear shipping and returns on the product page itself. Because one of the top return reasons is not as described, I want to analyze the live product description and I want to see what's going on and why customers are saying it's not as described. So let's do an analysis on that. It says the product description provides a clear overview of what is included in the package and highlights the versatility and durability of the gear. The description lacks specific details on the sizing options available, which could lead to confusion about fit. The description does not specify the materials used, which could impact the perceived quality and durability. Yeah, that's super important. So what the app is doing is it's crunching your numbers, it's crunching your order history, and it's comparing it to the actual performance of the product page. So what I would do in this situation is I would actually generate a couple different descriptions. So let's go to the product descriptions. We can just match the original tone and keep the length medium. I generally like to do both paragraph and bullets. So let's go ahead and let's regenerate a new description. What I would do is I would A/B test different descriptions. We can go to experiments. Let's go to create experiment. This is the live product description. This is the one that's on the storefront right now. And this is the one that we just generated. I would literally A/B test the current live version versus the one that we just did today. And we're gonna flip it every 12 hours. And there we go. And then you've got this test running, live description versus the draft that we created just now. And then as data begins to trickle in, you'll start to see data here. Here's one of the previous ones that we did. In this particular experiment, slice A performed the best, and then you can publish that to the storefront from here. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more Shopify optimization videos. If you'd like to try PinkyBrain, it's available in the Shopify App Store. There's a link to it in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.